In the spirit of giving this holiday season, volunteers in Goshen are so hard at work.
Yeah, the nonprofit they work with is giving hope to exploited women and girls, helping human trafficking victims break free.
Right, so tonight I want to introduce you to the women behind the mission. I also want you to meet a very special woman who's finding freedom. Here's her story of triumph over trafficking.
It's because of my mom.
16, maybe 17. Very little education.
When I was born, my grandfather wanted to abandon me.
No good way to make money for her family.
In my heart, I always felt I was not needed in my family.
Her mom had someone make a passport and send her to Greece illegally. No friends, no family. Mei Lee couldn't even speak the language. She was alone and scared, forced into the sex industry for 5 years.
The fear was indescribable. I started to hate my mother. I lost my childhood there, and a lot of very bad things happened.
Mei Lee's story is more common than we know. According to a 2023 trafficking report just issued by the U.S. Department of State, 4,635 victims were identified in East Asia in 2022. Those are victims agencies are aware of. The report states that number likely isn't accurate because of the hidden nature of the crimes. And here, it all gets unpacked. One by one, stories of trauma evolve into stories of freedom, independence, and hope.
It just feels good to know that they're not having to live the kind of life that they were living previously.
This is Starfish Project's warehouse in Goshen, Indiana, where volunteers process jewelry orders. Debbie Blosser's been filling orders for 9 years.
And you've brought a friend along into
Yes.
this with you.
Yes.
Susie Kaufman's been at it for 8.
How'd you get her on board?
I said, why don't you come to Starfish and work with me on Tuesdays, because I need help. So she thought about it.
And I said, yes, that's something I really am interested in.
And we've been working together every Tuesday since.
Starfish could not do this without you. They need volunteers like you.
Yeah, it takes volunteers.
Life isn't just about us. You want to help somebody else.
It's heavy work, though. They sort, pack, and ship the items. Everything handmade by women like Mei Lee. Women with a story and a brave escape from trafficking.
You're holding something that they made.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think about that when you open the jewelry?
Yeah, we do. We think that these gals have been touching this and working on this overseas, and then they send it here, and we're all working together as a team, even though we're on the other side of the world from each other.
You feel connected to it?
Yeah, very much.
Jenny McGee is the founder and executive director of Starfish Project. Grew up in Goshen, graduated from Bethel University, studied abroad, fell in love with Asia and the people there. Launched Starfish Project 17 years ago around a dining room table, and it exploded.
When I heard their stories, it just broke my heart. A lot of them were girls sent in from the villages into the cities looking for work, and sometimes they were sent by their families. Most of the time, they had no idea what they were getting themselves into.
Jenny now lives in Asia and works with a team there. Her job is going into the brothels to reach the women. On any given day, this is what she sees. Young girls sitting in windows under red lights, tricked by the people they loved, promised a real job, instead sold for sex.
She started realizing that the massage parlor was not really a massage parlor. The nail salon was not really doing people's nails.
She realized something else, too, that she had a gift and a way to make life better for women who are hurting.
It is her calling. It is her life. It is her life's work.
Marcy Morris has watched Jenny grow since she was 13 and knew back then she would do something big. Marcy's now part of the Goshen team and chairman of the Starfish Project board.
The first time you walked into a brothel, what was that like?
Yeah, it can be a very intimidating experience. We try to typically when we enter a new brothel, we go in with a small gift or something like that to kind of break the ice and try to build relationships. There's sometimes just a real heaviness in the place and kind of a darkness and sadness that can be there. So we just try to build relationships and connections and do whatever we can to become friends and to be a place that the women can trust.
They work in teams, reading the room, building connections. They never interfere with business. That's what keeps them safe. And sometimes it takes months of repeated visits before a woman will trust again and agree to leave and join the Starfish mission. Recently, the unthinkable happened.
We even had 2 brothel bosses shut down their brothels and come to Starfish Project. And one of them brought all the women in her brothel to Starfish Project as well. So I never expected that to happen.
Once a girl decides to leave, she's given a place to live in the Starfish Project shelter, access to trauma specialists, a care team, an individualized growth plan, and she's given a job making jewelry. Women then begin to study various pathways. They choose careers. Many of them end up in high-level positions within the Starfish organization as photographers, accountants, or graphic designers. Some even choose to open their own businesses.
That gets me excited and up and ready and out of bed in the morning to come in and to work hard to try to help create more opportunities for women to experience that.
May Lee has now been trained and is one of our head photographers in doing much of what anyone would see on the website, taking all of those photos.
Which are stunning.
The girl has talent, and for the first time she's able to use that talent for something very productive.
She's studied Greek, got married, and has a family of her own.
I think people really underestimate the power that a dignified job gives somebody. When women come in and they're a part of a team, they have real responsibilities and they know that their team is depending on them to do their part to make the jewelry or to ship it out, to photograph it, whatever their part in that process is. When they know that their part is important and people trust them, it's incredibly dignifying and also brings incredible hope.
And for the first time ever, there's a wait list. Women waiting to leave the brothels.
It kills me to know that we have a waiting list right now. It kills me to know what those girls are having to do to survive because we don't have enough sales to get them employed at Starfish.
Because sales means care.
Sales means more rescued.
In the past, I was a silly puppet. Actually, I'm still a little bit silly. But now I know what I want, and I'm slowly working toward it. I'm doing many things that I didn't know I could do.
More than 200 women have gone through the Starfish program. They depend on donations and sales to help these women. And over the holidays, their goal is to help 30 women through their Freedom campaign. And that includes getting 10 women off of that wait list. You can give to the Freedom campaign at starfishproject.com, and they are always looking for volunteers to help out.